Jon Wertheim, this is your brain on sports, the science of underdogs, the value of rivalry, and what we can learn from the TShirtCannon. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready for a fascinating exploration of the human mind through the lens of sports. This is your brain on sports unveils the psychological and emotional factors influencing both athletes and fans. Delve into the world of underdogs, rivalry, and effort justification as this book summary uncovers the reasons behind our love for sports and how we relate to them in our day-to-day lives. You'll discover the factors driving the halo effect, the curse of the expert, and the significance of hot and cool cognitive states. Get ready to unravel the mind games of sports and their broader implications in our daily lives.
The appeal of an underdog. Why we love rooting for the unlikely victors. Humans love to root for the underdog, even when logic dictates that they are unlikely to emerge victorious. The appeal of the underdog phenomenon appears to be the possibility of an unexpected outcome, which reinforces our desire for unlikely things to happen. Sympathy for those who are considered weak and the desire for the unthinkable contribute to this phenomenon. This plays on our personal situations in life, and portraying ourselves as an underdog stirs our emotions. The us versus them mentality this creates can lead to both celebration and hostility. One study conducted at the University of South Florida where students were presented with different maps of the Israel-Palestine region reinforced this. The students cheered for Israel when they were presented as the underdog surrounded and outnumbered by larger Muslim-majority countries. Consequently, when the students received different maps that portrayed the main territory as Israel, with its settlements encroaching on Palestinian territory, most of them cheered for Palestine. While this is an exciting phenomenon, it also has a dark side. It is common to see aggression against supporters of opposing teams or even bystanders who have no interest in sports. Whilst the underdog scenario is compelling, it creates an us versus them dynamic that is sometimes toxic. The halo effect and effort justification. Our perception of leaders is influenced by physical appearance, while effort justification affects decisions in sports management. Have you ever wondered why we perceive successful people in one area to be successful in other areas as well? This is called the halo effect, and it affects our judgment in sports and leadership. The tiniest physical features of a person can influence how we perceive their ability to lead, according to research by psychologist Nick Rule. Coaches, for example, may consider a young football player's broad shoulders as a sign of how good he'll be as a quarterback. Effort justification is another psychological effect commonly seen in sports. We tend to value things we put more effort into, as in the IKEA effect, where we appreciate furniture more when we assemble it ourselves. This applies to sports management as well. A manager may keep a troublesome player on the team longer if they put a lot of effort into improving them, even if there's not much improvement. Meanwhile, a player who doesn't require much effort from management may be let go, even if they perform well. Understanding these effects is crucial in sports and leadership, where judgments about a person's ability to lead or perform can have significant consequences. The curse of the expert. When it comes to promoting someone to a higher position, relying solely on statistics may not be the best approach. This is due to the curse of the expert. This phenomenon causes experts to have trouble explaining their skills or putting themselves in the shoes of a novice. Ego is a crucial factor that contributes to the curse of the expert. Successful athletes need self-confidence to excel, but it tends to hinder coaching as it focuses on others' needs. This self-confidence can also result in a totalitarian ego, leading to an obsession with oneself rather than focusing on the team's success. The curse of the expert is prevalent in fields like sports, where Hall of Famers become poor managers, while players with less impressive careers excel in managing positions. Michael Jordan is a prime example of succumbing to the curse of the expert as a player turned president of basketball operations. Impulses in sports. The success of athletes in sports largely depends on their impulses, which make split-second decisions possible, but can also lead to regrettable actions. Positron emission topography, PET, scans reveal two distinct states of being, a cool state and a hot state. The hot state is characterized by emotional responses, shutting down pathways that facilitate higher-level thoughts and leading to bad decisions. However, hot impulses have been crucial for human survival by enabling quick action in dangerous situations. In sports, impulses determine whether you win or lose. Rivalry is another intense aspect of sports that often pushes competitors to their limits, leading to healthy competition and improved performance. The same can happen in business when companies compete to be the best they can be. Action bias and praise in sports and education. Sports team owners often fire coaches after losing streaks due to action bias, which may not always be the best solution. Instead, praise should be given for effort and improvement. Being linked to success is also important, as seen in Ivy League universities. Have you ever wondered why coaches are often fired after a string of losses in sports teams? It's a phenomenon called action bias, where team owners feel compelled to do something to influence the situation. However, replacing a coach may not always be the best solution, especially if the new one is hired from outside the organization. It takes time for a new coach to identify the real problems and get to know the team. Instead, praise should be given for effort, not just achievement. This can improve performance without taking unnecessary risks. In sports, winning is essential, but it's also about linking oneself to success. Supporters often bask in the reflected glory of a winning team. The desire to feel more successful than one is an innate human trait. This psychology can be observed in Ivy League universities. Even though all Ivy League institutions are considered elite, relatively minor institutions like the University of Pennsylvania are more likely to mention their Ivy League status than their counterparts at Harvard. Harvard students already feel the Harvard name links them to success, whereas the lesser-known establishment invokes the Ivy League's prestige. Therefore, it's important to understand the influence of action bias, how praise can be used, and the significance of being linked to success. In sports and education, these concepts shape our decisions and the way we perceive ourselves and others. The lessons sports teach us. Sports reflect our struggles and teach us to set clear goals, push ourselves to the limit, and cope with setbacks. The remarkable potential of sports shows us what our bodies and minds are capable of achieving. Sports have an undeniable universal appeal that bridges gaps in age, culture, or social background. People love the sense of thrill that a come-from-behind victory or a redeemed performance brings. Sports offer a window to reflect our own struggles and help us gain valuable life lessons. One of the remarkable ways sports influence us is by showing us how to set clear goals, pace ourselves, and preserve energy for the right battles. This strategy not only applies to sports but in businesses as well. Achieving measurable and attainable goals helps you stay focused and determined. Sports also showcase our potential and how we can push ourselves to the extreme. The Flu Game of 1997 by Michael Jordan is a prime example. Despite being severely ill, Jordan scored 38 points and led his team to a crucial victory. The human body and mind can push themselves to extreme limits in pursuit of a common goal, reminding us of how remarkable our capacities are. Finally, the importance of bouncing back after a major setback is a valuable lesson sports teach us. Brett Favre, Green Bay Packers quarterback, delivered one of the best performances of his career just after his father's death. Coping with tragedy or loss is challenging, but channeling that grief to spur you on can be a source of strength and empowerment. In conclusion, sports are a valuable part of our lives that offer many valuable life lessons. They show us what we're capable of, how to set clear goals, push ourselves to the limits, and cope with setbacks.
As we reach the finish line, it's evident that This Is Your Brain on Sports has provided us with an incredible journey through the extraordinary power and potential of the human mind when fueled by sports. The tale of underdogs, rivalry, and the psychological effects of sports fandom has shown us how deeply our emotions and identities are intertwined with the performances of our favorite athletes. From the halo effect to action bias, we now have a better understanding of the driving forces behind our obsession with sports and the way it shapes our everyday lives. Ultimately, this book enlightens us about the true essence of sports, overcoming challenges, pushing the limits, and discovering the remarkable capabilities hidden within ourselves.